he speaks to them and addresses those concerns in a real way, which makes a difference to their lives.
And thank you very much
Thank you very much
for your company. Take care.
Not at all. Thank you.
Looking in good shape since you probably only had about an hour's sleep.
Thank you very much. Some coffee.
Some coffee, that's what does it.
Thank you very
That's
much.
Vernon Coker. It's 10 to 1. Let's fit a few more callers in. Let's start with David. Hi, David.
Hello, Peter.
Yeah, tell me what you'd like to say.
Yes, well, I think this has been a wake-up call for the government and for politics. I mean, there are people on the left and the right, both parties, they voted for Leave, like I did. I'm a pensioner in my 70s now, and this has been, without a doubt, a wake-up call for these people. And, you know, when I heard the gentleman on before talking about most Labour people have voted because of immigration, I voted Labour all my life. That wasn't the main priority for me. My priority was decisions made in Brussels that affect my life here. And whether he was using this business of immigration, that Labour, the majority of Labour voters, I don't think that's right. David Cameron brought this on himself. He said, they more or less praised themselves for giving this country the vote. They gave them the vote because of Farage and because of the backbenchers. I followed politics for 50 odd years, and for the last 30, 40 years, we know how divided the Tories have been, and he's brought this on himself. He's taken chances before.
You say as if it's a
reality, although one might ask that given that the polls were so close, why were some of these big institutions so surprised at the outcome, and whether their due diligence was sufficient. But of course there's bound to be a little bit of jitters initially. It's a very big historical change that we're talking about. This is changing, of course, not only of British history but of European history.
Well, you may say that there are initial jitters, but I was just talking to Professor Sir Charlie Bean, formerly of the Bank of England, and he expressed fears, which Mark Carney's also talked about, that this will lead to lower growth for at least a year or two.
Well, we wait and see. I mean, there are so many factors that affect growth. What's happening in China, what's happening to the price of oil, what's happening to the Fed's policy in the States. All of these are factors that will affect us, and they can all move in positive or negative directions. So what the aggregate effect will be, I think it's very difficult to predict, and you certainly can't predict it by looking at only the factors that are involved in the referendum.
So what about the other implications? We've heard Nicola Sturgeon talking about the prospect of a second independence referendum for Scotland. So it could be in the position of not just leaving the EU, but seeing the breakup of the United Kingdom as well.
Well, the people in Scotland, if you look at the polls, are showing no appetite whatsoever for a second referendum. And in fact, the demand for a referendum is way below what it was after the last one.
Well, they may not want one, but they may be getting one, and aren't they more likely to vote for independence now?
They don't get one. I mean, it's up to Westminster under the Scotland Act whether there is sufficient demand in Scotland for there to be another referendum.
Interesting. So you think the Westminster government might turn down her request?
Well, in any case, if you look at what's happening in Scotland, the economic case for independence is actually much poorer than it was back at the time of the 2014 referendum, given the massive drop in the price of oil. And there must be many people in Scotland who are very, very grateful that they made the right decision to remain part of the UK, as Scotland would have been absolutely financially hammered had they decided to leave.
But they did vote in favour of Remain, didn't they?
And they voted to stay in the Union, and the Union carried out the referendum in the European Union, and that was done with every citizen across the United Kingdom being given an equal voice from Land's End to John O'Groats. We don't have a federal system, so Scotland as such didn't vote, Wales as such didn't vote, Northern Ireland as such didn't vote, or England as such. The people of all those parts of the United Kingdom voted, and they all had the same vote and the same voice and the same weight, whether they were the Prime Minister or a first-time voter. And to have this is a bit of a red herring being introduced into this debate, that Scotland had a vote. That's not how our system works.
So what about the future of your own party? Did you want David Cameron to stand down as Prime Minister?
Well, I made very clear, including in the letter that was published last night, that I wanted him to stay on for a period to get us through the initial negotiations that we have to have and get us onto a steady political platform, because we didn't need to add political turbulence into the mix that we unavoidably have as a consequence of the historic nature of his decision. But I accept that he felt that in the circumstances, having so strongly advocated remaining, that he felt he had is set not by the Prime Minister or the leader of the party, but by the 1922 committee. And I will be strongly recommending to them, as will a number of my colleagues, that the timetable will be the same as the 2005 election in which David Cameron was elected, and that is that we hold the vote after the party conference, so that the party members who will be involved in that process have a chance to see and become familiar with all the candidates.
And what about the negotiations themselves? An interview which we'll be hearing later on in the programme. I talked to Pascal Lamy, who's been head of the WTO. He's saying it could take 5 years, 10 years, maybe it can never be resolved at all because it's so legally tortuous, this divorce.
And of course, we're also hearing the opposite from some of the European leaders who say we must try and reach agreement as quickly as possible because we don't want a protracted period of instability. And I think this is the key. Where there are issues of mutual benefit to be resolved, then I think we will do those expeditiously. And I think that where things like trade and things like security, where it's in our mutual interest to get a quick agreement, I think the political imperative will drive it in that direction.
Ian Fox, thank you very much for joining us. So could, as we have just been discussing, the Leave vote also lead to the breakup of the United Kingdom? In a dramatic statement last hour, Nicola Sturgeon, the Scottish First Minister, says a second independence referendum is now highly likely. Our Scotland correspondent Colin Glenn joins us.
This has been a seismic day in British politics, a result which puts Scotland at odds with England and Wales. Here, Remain were clear winners, though 5 of Scotland's party leaders at Holyrood had urged voters to opt for staying in Europe. The issues of migration and UK sovereignty continue to weigh heavily with Scottish voters. A short time ago, the First Minister Nicola Sturgeon said she would seek direct discussions with EU institutions and member states. She said she was proud of how Scotland had voted for remaining in the European Union. The balance of public opinion was strongly in favour, especially in Glasgow and Edinburgh.
We're screwed. This is the worst possible result.
I think it's a disaster. It's terrible. I'm very fearful for the future of the country.
Yeah, I think it's great we're out. I really think it's great we're out.
The wrong decision completely for Scotland. Just disappointed, very disappointed.
For Scotland's First Minister Nicola Sturgeon, who campaigned to stay in the EU, the result meant there'd be pressure for a second referendum on Scottish independence. She had promised the Scottish Parliament would have the right to hold one in the event of the UK leaving and Scotland voting to stay. Today, she set out her position.
I think an independence referendum is now highly likely, but I also think it's important that we take time to consider all steps and to have the discussions, not least to assess the response of the European Union to the vote that Scotland expressed yesterday.
The former Labour MP Tom Harris was one of the leaders of Scottish Vote Leave. He took the view Scots would be better to accept last night's decision.
It's the UK that's the member at the moment of the EU, not Scotland. So, there is no question that Scots will unite with the whole of the country to go forward, negotiate a very positive exit from the EU.
But people we spoke to in Glasgow seem to feel a second independence referendum might be on the cards.
Scotland has clearly voted based on the result that they want to remain as part of Europe, so I don't think there's any option but to go for a second referendum.
I hope we'll have another one now. Yeah, I think it would be a good thing.
I would expect that Nicola Sturgeon will wait and see what happens, but I would be very surprised if in the end there isn't a referendum quite soon.
This is talking to Colin Glenn from Scotland. You're listening to BBC Radio 4. This is a special programme devoted to the consequences of the referendum. In the next hour, we'll be hearing from senior Conservative and Labour politicians to discuss the future of their parties, and also from the former head of the World Trade Organisation. Also, what will Brexit mean for you and your finances? Moneybox's Paul Lewis will be here. Programme reflecting the UK's decision to leave the European Union. The result was confirmed just after 7 o'clock this morning, and already the political consequences have been profound. David Cameron has announced that he'll step down as Prime Minister by the autumn.
I will do everything I can as Prime Minister to steady the ship over the coming weeks and months, but I do not think it would be right for me to try to be the captain